think you should buy this mug. I'll ask you nicely, but he won't.
Welcome everybody to episode 34 to the Mystery School podcast. Going to be diving into the absolute fuckery that is going on in the week of 9/13 of 23, and boy oh boy, there's a lot of fuckery and a lot of stupid shit just going on every single day, and it's annoying. So, to start us off, to really get the conversation going, it's very fascinating that we sit here and watch, the first, let's say, I don't want to say somber, I want to say it was the most unrecognizable 9/11 we've ever had. I don't know about you guys, but it was just a very odd feeling day. Me personally, I didn't even really know it was 9/11 until the afternoon, and then I was just like, oh, holy crap, it's 9/11. I mean, I didn't see really anything on the news, hear anything, nobody really talked about it. Like, it was a very just another day at the office type of day. And it's very striking that that's what everybody thought that morning. And I know I don't want to go too deep into 9/11 because we've done that here many times. Um, it's something that we must never forget, and it's fascinating seeing the world kind of move forward, but move forward in a way that they they accept the lie, but they know it's a lie. It's a very weird feeling. Xenox, do you feel that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, I just found this video about, 9/11. It was like this old documentary. I've never seen it before. I've watched tons of 9/11 documentaries, and it was a clip from one. I don't know where it came from. It's probably not really out there like that, because the one portion I saw this was juicy. So it went into talking about, I guess so, in reference to the plane that hit the Pentagon on 9/11, uh, it went into talking about CIA techniques and technologies that had existed back then, that they were already in practice, where they could hijack a commercial plane, um, however, electronically or whatever. The point is, you're controlling the commercial plane, and then you replace its signature uh, with a drone. And so all they see, in whatever country or area that is looking on the air traffic controller, they see the drone as that aircraft, right? And then the commercial airplane can go wherever else, but then that drone can be controlled under the signature of the aircraft. And why that is relevant is because a lot of people think that a drone, um, in the size and the lack of debris and the kind of angle that it had hit Pentagon, a lot of people speculated and theorized based on the data that it was in fact a drone, because when you look at the video, it's small, it's perfectly low and flat to the ground that no amateur pilot could ever do, or even a professional pilot would. It's next to impossible to do that, especially with a commercial airline plane. So now you have a drone flying like 90 degrees flat on the ground, going into the Pentagon, and then the lack of uh, debris from the plane. Everyone's like, "Where's the wreckage?" And people overall and say, oh, I saw like a fuselage or wing or something. Yeah, but there's really an overwhelming lack of material that was found, and the damage didn't really like add up. Um, and so that's why people think it's a drone. And this was kind of saying that, hey, maybe they hacked that commercial airline, replaced it with a drone, and that airline went somewhere else or whatever, or never went into the air. I don't know. Um, but yeah, definitely
Xenox.
suspicious. Yeah, yeah.
Xenox. Now they're putting out like several different films, different angles, where they know now that what went into the Pentagon was a Scud missile.
Oh, yeah, a missile. Um, yeah. I mean, I would love to see that. I don't know what went in there. It could have been a missile. Could have been a drone. Personally, I think it was most likely a missile, but it still, could have been a drone or something like that.
I'll see if I
I'm
can't.
open. I'm open to whatever. But I thought that
I'll,
was an interesting theory,
I'll see if I can't
especially
find the
because
footage.
yeah, yeah, that'd be great if you could find it. I'll put it in here for later on.
Yeah,
You guys go.
we'll throw that into post when we put the recording up on Rumble. So anybody who's listening in on Rumble, you'll be able to see the video that Hope is referencing to. So yeah, it's hmm.
I know I said if you find it.
Yeah, if she finds it. So yeah, it's just kind of another year goes by, another year goes by where the lie is perpetuated that, you know, several men acted alone with no oversight or governmental help, rammed two planes into the towers, stole four, crashed one in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, and then one into the Pentagon. And it was supposedly attack on our nation and one of the biggest atrocities to ever happen for the world
Yeah.
because it was the World Trade Center, not just the
Uh,
American Trade Center.
you guys probably always see this meme. I know it's been being like a dead horse, but it shows two buildings, two planes. Or no, sorry, it shows two planes and three buildings. How does two planes take down three buildings? It just I'll post that meme as well. It's kind of funny.
But yeah,
But
I also
Scoop, do
uh
you know anything about the body stuff with 9/11? Do you want to go into that?
I mean, what's there to really say? He didn't really touch upon it. He didn't visit with any of the people that were
Yo,
spending time at the memorial. He gave a small speech. I mean, last year he was at the fire department, with kids around,
yeah.
sniffing girls, but this year he was supposedly around nobody.
You know what else he did?
What?
He gave 6 billion to Iran.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. So yeah,
Love
Biden
to
gives
talk about
$6 billion to Iran. That's not
We
sus
could
at
have.
all.
Do you know how many Maui islands we could have built with that?
I know it,
Yeah.
and the people of Maui only get $700, but an entire country gets 6 billion for what? Not because they're Americans, not because they love America, because they want to perpetuate their war there, and it's very scary to really think about it and be on and to look at this situation and look at BRICS Nation and then look at the U.S. and go, oh, we're the bad guys this time. We're not the good guys in this war. We're the bad guys, and it sucks. BRICS Nation is going to level the playing field, and it's not going to be with bullets. It's going to be with gold.
Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting.
For anybody that is listening and watching, BRICS Nation is coming for the snake head of the United States dollar, and you need to be
You
ready.
wanna tell us what BRICS is?
If you don't know what BRICS Nation is the gathering of multiple different countries from around the world that are not part of the European Union and are basically trying to reform the ways they go about economics and to bring a general gold standard to their own individual currencies and to be in a more cohesional network with each other. North Korea is, I think, one of the newest members to join the BRICS nation, which is immensely huge. Um,
Yeah.
it definitely.
Actually, quick note on North Korea. Funny thing, um, Kim Jong Un and Putin physically met each other, just like Trump. That was hilarious. You go ahead.
No, that's a brilliant point. And if you go back just a few short months from this date, and you really look at the meeting Xi Jinping and Putin had, one of the last conversations that they had before departing was that the changes that we are going to be making are changes that are coming hundreds of years in the making. So if that doesn't say that there is going to be some very interesting and bloodthirsty things from the oldest running superpower in the world right now, the United States, I say that because we are a global superpower. That has never happened in the history of the world until the United States after World War II, and we now have a direct competitor. And I don't know whether to be absolutely mortified or absolutely excited, because maybe for once it'll get us off our ass and actually start, being a hardworking, motivated, fucking intelligent type of country again. Um,
Well,
or
my
mortified that we are going to get the floor mopped with us.
my take on that is, I think you're right. It can go either way, but I think that all depends on the next election cycle because the cabal wants to run this country. They want kinetic war in America. They want to destroy society so that they can take away our rights, so that they can grab more power. They don't want America. That's why they're destroying the family system. They're destroying the American dollar. They're destroying the economy. But they're doing it slowly enough so that you vote them back into office and don't even realize it. Right? I've been over this before, boiling you like a frog. But if, and God forbid this doesn't happen, but if the election cycle goes in the cabal's favor in this next term, that could be very devastating because they are going to try to do things and it will affect our economy negatively. And yeah, but if Trump gets back in office or some other white hat or what have you, let's say the election cycle goes in the white hat's favor, what does that mean for all the other trade agreements that we may or may not get out of? And what does that mean for BRICS? Do we become a part of BRICS? There's a lot of different ways this can go. So it could be a very good thing, a very bad thing. Trump has been talking about gold standard, and all these different kind of systems. And do we create our own competitive system to BRICS? So now with BRICS as a competitor in the gold standard.
And I also want to make note that the main leaders of BRICS Nation are all comprised of people that Trump was really close with in foreign affairs. set up a lot of the
Now it's
foundational work. Who knows?
yeah,
Who really
yeah.
knows? But it's very coincidental that some of the main people that are behind BRICS had some of the closest relationships with Trump in foreign affairs.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I think
you
that
know, some people
that is
can
the way
say
to
that that is Trump just easily manipulated by the enemy and, you know, them feeding his ego. But, you know, we must understand Donald Trump is three different characters in one. I'm going to say that again. Donald Trump is three different characters in one. You have the Donald Trump behind closed doors, you have the Donald Trump as president, and you have Donald Trump the reality star. Most of what we, the public, see is Donald Trump the reality star. Do you have anything to say on that one, Xenox?
Um, yeah, he's the deal maker, my guy. That's all you need to take away from it. I
Yeah,
don't have to say anything more.
he is definitely the deal maker. Um, so Mexico, you know, Mexico comes out with this with these, I don't even know what to call this. Like for me, this is old news because I heard about this stuff in 2017 and I was all hyped and excited about it and, you know, trying to show my friends, "Hey, aliens are here. We're finding bodies. Like, look at this." And they're just like, "Meh, not real." It's like, man. So it's old news for me that now people are starting to come to the realization, these are you know, very interesting. These are real. It's like, yeah, I guess, but
Yeah,
where were you like 4 years ago?
and can you tell us where you saw them before these same exact bodies?
I saw them personally on Gaia TV back when I was subscribed in the I hate to say the olden days because it wasn't even 10 years
Yeah,
ago, but it was a good while. I mean, it was, I would say, early stages of the awakening, just kind of looking for something new. I mean, Gaia trapped in a lot of people. They still do. But yeah. I mean, they had a big special called the Nazca Lines Peru, and they went through a lot of the tunnels that are actually there under the lines and just found different chambers with pottery, bodies, preserved mummies. Like it was very, very fascinating.
yeah. And for those of you who might not know what the Nazca lines are, they are giant. I guess you could say megalithic, but they're not really structures. They're just lines drawn on the ground. But they are megalithic in size, and the fact that they depict anthropomorphic creatures, so like fish people, bird people, but then you also have like alien looking um, kind of creatures,
And then
humanoid animals.
you have an
But
entire
you
area
can't see
that
them.
looks. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't
it's
super
okay.
important. And then you have an entire area that looks just like a fucking airport. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, I didn't know about that. But
You
yeah, so
you
you
didn't know
can't
about
see
that?
any of that stuff. No, you can't see any of that stuff on the ground. You can only see it when you're in the sky, like in a drone or in a plane
Satellites.
or satellites. But that's a little excessive. But yeah, so why were our ancestors drawing megalithic structures in the ground, and then they find what alien bodies there? Come on, you guys are ahead of the game. All right, let's go on.
But no, it's just fascinating that we have, you know, NASA, the government funded civilian space agency, come out and say, "Hey, we have no evidence of any extraterrestrial life." And then 2 months later, you have Mexico come out and say, "Yeah, we have these guys. We have these guys in a museum, and we have you know, DNA and X-rays, and one of them is, you know, probably gonna lay eggs, but they died before they could actually fucking do it, and they were wrapped in extinct algae that allowed them to become mummified. I mean, come on! It doesn't take a fucking rocket science to see there's a problem there.
Yeah, and what happened before that? You had the whistleblower, you know, not saying that we should put him on a pedestal because he's probably controlled narrative or whatever, but you had the whistleblower saying, "Oh, we have craft in Congress under oath. We have craft. We have alien bodies and stuff." So, and then guess what happened in between all of this? Um, the in forget what number bill it is. You can read that in Sweetbook, but Schumer kind of
Oh yeah.
squeezed this little thing in the military funding bill for 2024, and it's like what, I don't know, 5, 10 pages, all about controlled disclosure of extraterrestrials and UFO craft, and it just goes into how they're gonna slowly control and leak the disclosure of
Yes. See,
Gentlemen, remember who NASA is. I mean, we're the beginnings and the theory and the mottos and the
so
honorability of NASA. You
oh
know,
yeah,
we're
but
talking
this is
about
outside
okay.
of NASA though.
All right. So
Nazis.
just for the people that are watching the recording, the bill is called S2953. So that is Sally 2953, unidentified anomalous phenomena disclosure, and that is unidentified anomalous phenomena disclosure.
Yeah,
The
oh, what were you saying?
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. You know, let's not forget where NASA came from. And I'm sure that the camaraderie of the foundation of NASA, of those scientists that were supposed to be hung, that someone seemed to think that we could benefit from them in the United States, which is probably Luciferian in the background. But you know, if they give that away, they're losing control.
That's true. But as we have constantly, you know, showed in this program, they're pretty negligent to a lot of what we end up finding on their own equipment.
Are you surprised though?
No, I'm not surprised. It's just, it's fascinating to me how they can be woefully, you know, deny, but yet still be fucking ignorant. Like, it's fascinating to me.
Well, I think because they only have so much manpower, you know, and that's probably why we're getting into disclosure now, is because they
Okay.
have all, you know, all
No.
the cronies in the world, but there's only so many people that are
Look.
fully read into that kind of
Xenox.
thing.
Xenox.
Yeah.
Junk does what he does with those pictures and capturing that stuff for free. It you're trying to tell me that they can't pay a guy to comb through their 3-day footage frame by frame and someone wouldn't get paid to do it? Come on. Come on. They are just that
Okay.
stupid.
But I'm saying they lack a level of awareness because one, maybe because yeah, because they're stupid, but two,
Well, no.
because
It's
they're lacking in resources
it
as well.
no, it's either one of two things. Either they don't know about it and they're stupid, or they're willfully letting it happen. Like, there is no in between, Xenox. If you are you are either willfully ignorant to the fact that there is anomalous things that happen on your own satellites within the 3-day thing, or you know about it, you can't talk about it, but it's not like you can't show it. And that's the key word. You can't talk about it, but you can show it.
But we already know that the Germans, their technology was developed with the help of the aliens. We already know that.
Yeah,
That's
we
already out.
yeah.
Now, with the power of the internet, that can't be denied.
No, not at all. I fully 100% agree. Also, welcome, Junk. We're just kind of going into the thick of it now. And I see that you're sending me a whole bunch of videos there. Holy goodness.
Hello.
So, Junk, actually, you jumped in at the perfect time. What do you think? Do you think NASA is willfully ignorant to what we consistently see on their own satellites? Or are they just letting it happen?
Okay, so this is the thing. It's like they. I don't think they know how good we are. I think it's kind of like, for they generalize the public. So it's like, okay, you have the flat Earth community, of which we talked about how there could be a lot of dominion over and misinfluence, but as far as like extraterrestrial seeking, you have backyard astronomers who constantly are convinced under the direction of Neil deGrasse Tyson that the only life in the universe is microbial and possibly something within deep oceans that we'll never reach. Now, it's like we all know, of course, once you take that red pill and you actually see it for yourself, we know that aliens exist, we know that they're visiting the planet and all of this stuff, but I think they don't think we're smart enough to check satellite feed. I mean, there's not enough, there's not a large enough audience for people actively seeking frame by frame reference that I think they kind of just get sloppy with the details and they gaslight everybody into what the collective or the mainstream is up to, not necessarily like the small, you know, investigative researchers because it's pointless. We come out with all of this information. Honestly, everything that we've shown here in Mystery School and I've shown in my Telegram channel, like this should be like big headline, like in your face evidence. But of course, it's crickets. And that's exactly why they don't really give it much time or even censorship at that point.
That was a very beautiful answer. So you fall into the camp that they're just completely ignorant to it. And that's a very fair argument. Now, I have to pose the idea that what if they do it completely and utterly on purpose? Because we know that they can't tell us. They can't just boldly tell us, "Hey, we have extraterrestrials. We're in contact with them. We have all this shit." They can't say that. But that doesn't mean they can't allow stuff to get photographed. Like like the craft themselves can do technology to disrupt actual cameras, but they're not gonna sit there and do it while they're in outer space. They're not gonna really care if a satellite gets them, and I find that fascinating to me.
Well, I'd say it depends on what lens you're looking at. If you're looking at an ISS feed, of course they might like, tease us a little bit by giving us 2 seconds and then shut the feed off. But it's really hard to think that they're gonna go every single day to this feed. This is my honest opinion, is that they handed this off to the nerds of NASA. They said, "Here's our satellite. It's in space. Keep it running. Do whatever you need to do to cleanse the lens and whatnot." But it's not like under like full scope and approval of like the mainstream and NASA. Like they're focused on the mainstream optics. They're not thinking,
Right.
you know, that a few people will catch a glimpse. I just think we found a slip through the gate. You know, these are constant feeds, and they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about, you know, how can we prevent people from seeing it in the skies in general. So yeah, I think it's
Or
our lucky
at the
day.
ISS speed. Yeah.
No, hey, that's
Do you
a
think all their focus is on like the feed on like the on a space station, like the live feeds, like that where you can see the Earth and the atmosphere and stuff?
yeah. Like sometimes you'll
And
see a
that's what they're
thing whiz
constantly.
by and then they'll cut the feed.
Yeah.
So,
Um.
you're gonna say something?
Did we go into COVID?
I mean, we talked a little bit about
I
it
think we
with
went.
the FDA stuff.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that the FDA has approved a new. Was it booster or a whole new shot?
Uh,
I think it was a new booster.
no, it's a whole new shot.
Right. I guess so. They approved a whole new shot, but if I'm mistaken, it's only under the emergency use authorization, so it's still not completely approved. Correct?
It's approved by the FDA, but it's not mandated yet under the Emergency Act.
Well,
Yes.
they can't because it's emergency use authorization, so that means you waive all your rights, and they can't
Right.
like force you to
So
take it.
companies can't be sued.
No, they can't be sued because it's an emergency use.
Right now, we're not under an emergency use. The
No,
authorization it ended. So Biden would have to put a new one in.
I'm pretty sure it's still going on
No,
because it
she
said
is
they
correct.
approved it under the.
No,
Back in May.
she is correct. They just updated it for in the event of an emergency that's available.
Oh, because it says today the U.S. Food and Drug Administration took action approving and authorizing for emergency use updated COVID-19 vaccines.
But that's for the drug only in the event that we're under an emergency authorization.
Yes.
Oh, so they approved it for the emergency use.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that makes more sense. So they're prepping for something.
Which it
Essentially.
yeah, like the very first bullet point just makes my skin crawl. Literally makes my skin crawl. Like, listen to this. Individuals 5 years of age and older, regardless of previous vaccination, are eligible to receive a single dose of an updated mRNA COVID-19 vaccine at least 2 months since the last dose of any COVID-19 vaccine. So a 5-year-old can get a booster. 2 months later, they can get another shot. And a parent is dumb enough to think that's healthy. Makes me sick. Makes my skin crawl.
And we haven't even talked about when both parents are vaccinated and they conceive, what that baby's like.
Yeah. We don't even know the long-term effects for that one. I've been saying that since the beginning. We won't see that.
But I definitely
Some
think there's gonna be some statistical skewing though, because we don't know how many people got saline shots and how many people got the vaccine.
That's a very valid point.
All you have to do is look at the number.
Oh, enlighten us.
There's a code in the lot numbers.
How do you know which ones are saline?
Well, it's in the code. There's certain numbers and certain letters that would tell the manufacturer if that person received saline or if they received a true dose.
Oh, but I'm saying, like, can you look this number up and it says this one was saline?
I don't know that that's been leaked yet.
can go to howbadismybatch.com and it will tell you in your area which numbers were sent and how many side effects there were in those areas. There have been some reports where there were more risks found in red areas, and of course that led to the theory they were trying to kill off all the Republicans and conservatives. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but yeah, you can check it howbadismybatch.com. And there's been several whistleblowers that have come forward from some of the different companies, and one in Eastern Europe, I want to say like Slovenia or Lithuania or one of those countries, that said, yeah, there were 3 different ones. There was the ones given to the politicians and the elite, and there were ones given to the public, and then there was ones that were basically a kill shot, and the ones given to the higher officials were just saline, and the other ones were kind of Russian roulette. Who knows what it was going to do?
Yeah. And then one more point I wanted to make on the COVID vaccination thing before we go. On I think one of the vaccines is called, where'd it go? Find it. It was Spike something.
Spike facts.
Oh yeah, Spike Vax. So it's a COVID-19 mRNA. It's called Spike Vax, which I guess just for context, it's a single dose for 18 and older, and 12 through 17 as well.
And it was manufactured by Moderna.
Same thing with
Yeah, but what I wanted to get into is the name, purely the name, which why would they call it Spike? Where does the name Spike come into? And there's a lot of people who got into deep into the science of how the vaccine works and how COVID-19 works. It uses these things called spike proteins.
Bro, you have a lot of like movement in your mic.
I'm sorry. What does it sound like?
You're moving it around.
Oh, how about now?
Much better.
How did you hear me?
Yes.
Earlier or not?
Yeah, we heard you earlier, but there was a lot of background noise.
Sorry. And
If you think about it, they put everything in front of us. They really,
that's where I'm going.
people are so naive. They'll just remember, the people that are naive will remember the word spike. And so it's an easy one for senior citizens and the people that aren't awake yet, and those seniors that aren't awake yet, to remember that. But they can't relate the correlation between the spike protein and the name.
Yeah. And what does the spike protein do? It causes shedding, which we theorize that those cells that shed attach to other people, and then they have the spike proteins. To what degree and how long it lasts, we have no idea. We don't really know the science behind it or what it does.
Yeah, it's through bodily fluids.
Oh, okay. So it's not through like air or contact; it's bodily fluids.
It's through air as well. It's very transmissible. I've many times suffered from the effects of shedding from those in my environment who have been recently jabbed and boosted. And as far as the emergency protocol went, ironically, that was only for spike vax, which was not even the first 2 or even 3 shots that was given out. It's the one that's come out more recently. So the initial emergency authorizations, the shots that were given, that was all bogus. Everything that was given was illegal because Spike Vax wasn't even out on the market yet. That was a completely different reiteration of the original.
Birdcat, if I'm right, if you go back and look, you can find the patents on all of these vaccines.
They were patented, but as far as the actual Spike Vax, that was the one that the emergency order went through specifically for Spike Vax. Yes, they were all patented back in, I think, 2018. I want to say 2017. It was a while ago, and yeah, that's facts, and that's easy to find. But the actual emergency authorizations were for something that they had not officially rolled out yet. It was patented, but they hadn't released it yet.
They can't isolate the virus.
Very interesting. You know, lovely conversation going around. I love this dialogue. You know, we're very much bringing up good points, and you know, we're showing how much information we have gathered since the fallout of COVID, and it's fascinating that they're just going to go ahead and do it again to us. And the man that's going to be perpetuating it, they're going to be this try to be the spearhead, as he very much did when he got into office the first time, and that's good old Brandon. Oh, Brandon. Brandon.
And up at the train station.
Junk, would you like to talk about Brandon a little bit?
I think it's not time, actually. We're at 6 o'clock on my schedule. No, just, you know what? Pick a video and just listen to what he says, and we'll go conversation there.
All right. Let me do that.
And let's see. I'll just follow my orders here. Staff, if anybody hasn't spoken, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling. I said there are 5 questions. Anita, BOA.
What? The man is stumbling to even figure out what to say. Oh my god.
You can't make
Scuba, do you have the actual video part where they pull him away from the video?
No, I don't. Junk sent me this.
Okay.
Oh no.
Conniving discussion with Bitchute, it would always be sad to watch because it's so clearly elder abuse, but it's just hard not to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
We do need more money, but we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. We have to think ahead. And that's not something the last outfit did very well. That's something we've been doing for fairly well. That's why we need the money. Let's see. I'll just follow my orders here. Staff, if anybody hasn't spoken, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling. I said there are 5 questions. Anita, BOA. I think, my mother had an expression, out of everything terrible, something good will come if you look hard enough for it. I think this presents us with some significant opportunities to make some real changes. We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people died, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
Dun 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 dun.
You acted normal there.
I actually was able to keep a cohesive answer there. Holy crap. Didn't think he had the ability to do that.
Hey Sue, did you get the photo I
People
sent you?
straight for the whole George Herbert Walker New World Order, and or was it him or was it HW? Let's see, George Bush Senior was the Thousand Points of Light New World Order. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's funny that he's going back to that, which it's been theorized he was the one responsible for taking out JFK. Part of me almost wonders if this is a veiled reference to RFK Jr. Just a thought.
I think there's a connection.
It could be. I mean, RFK is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Will he ever get the nominee? Doubt it. I fully believe they're gonna come out with Michael. She's already started talking about running for. They have already started talking about running for president.
And a lot of people can't wait.
And they're all gonna be shattered once they find out the truth because it's already come out. Barry likes boys. He likes sleeping with men.
Like, this dual personality thing.
Yeah. I swear, if she comes out or if he comes out and there's a bulge on that dress on their first speech, this is fucking rigged. Like this shit is a movie at that point. Like they're not hiding it.
Like all of a sudden she's standing there and like the podium like moves like 6 inches or 8 inches forward, and they're like wondering what the hell is going on. She stands inside, or he.
Yeah.
I mean, they're popping out pictures on Telegram like crazy, where a picture of him and Obama, and saying this was supposed to be 6 months into the pregnancy of the first baby. I mean, it's going wild.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly he has a 8-pack or a 12-pack or whatever.
There's a reason why Q constantly said these people are sick. But yeah, I mean, we could sit here and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about how dumb Biden is. I mean, he is the guy who literally fucked up in saying American can be summed up in a few short words. And then just didn't even say a cohesive sentence afterwards, not even a full word. Like,
I've been wondering about that for the past couple of days and weeks. I mean, with the Mitch McConnell thing, if Obama's speaking like in these people's ears or anything like that, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
No? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Usually I have to walk down the driveway. That if there's like Obama's talking these people's ears and everything like that, telling them what to say, if they're like programmed or whatever, can't like the white hats like hack into that and like use the same voice and like mess them up? I've been wondering that.
That's a valid argument. That's a very, very valid argument.
But then there's the argument that Obama's not breathing on this earth anymore.
Well, a clone, or the same kind of hack consciousness of the asshole
Well,
that he is.
Even taking that a step further, looking at the, cognitive illusion that Mitch McConnell is definitely under, that's no joke. You can literally see clips of him getting touched and he literally shuts down. So that's some form of hypnosis. It's quite possible that Biden himself is under some hypnosis and he thinks he's talking to Obama, but he's really talking to, a white hat, government agent. We don't know.
They just messed him up. I don't. That's using the same voice as Obama. I've just been wondering that. I'm like, these people are just. They're not thinking for themselves, obviously. And then when they get tripped up, they just don't know what to say. It's really weird. That's what, I don't know, it just popped in my head for the past couple days, and I can't stop thinking about it because, that interview with Obama saying if I could just speak in someone's ear for the next couple of years, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, really weird.
Can I interject something here?
Of course.
I don't know if anybody paid attention, but for those people that understand military code and how honors work, at Biden's so-called inauguration, there were only 3 cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Presidential inauguration, there are 4 cannons. During Biden's so-called inauguration, one of the cannons misfired. Now let me tell you, those people in the military would never, ever let a cannon misfire. They practice those things day and night. They know what they're doing. So in essence, the inauguration that we saw Biden participating in was the real Biden's funeral.
Very
To add
well.
to that,
Very well
also,
put.
all the service members were faced away. It's protocol to be facing the commander in chief, and they turned away and did not salute him also.
You're correct.
I also want to make note that the cannons were not on site of the inauguration. They were on another location.
At Arlington Cemetery.
Yeah,
But
but Trump.
when Trump got off the helicopter before he approached the plane, and there was a 21-gun salute.
Biden didn't
Yeah,
have
but
one.
I want to be clear and say that the amount of cannons that fired for Biden actually is what they do for funeral.
As she said that.
I just the way she worded it.
Sorry.
Well, and the John McCain thing has been popping up again lately. There's a lot of controversy over that.
And Mitt Romney retiring all of a sudden? Since when does a career politician retire?
You know, the U.S.
Not
has
Mitt Trump, who's brain dead, and Biden.
the UN has a location in Utah, and the UN is big with the CCP, and the UN also has the Luciferian. They have like 10 ways to change the world, which was established back in the early 1900s, and that kind of helps put a little piece of the connection into Utah and even potentially with the Mormon Church.
True.
Still want to know who blew up Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, right? I love how that just kind of faded into obscurity.
Well, especially considering the whole concept behind it was this, like restructuring and great reset, if you will, of the population, and then suddenly it just poof disappears, and all the cameras are malfunctioning because of course they are, and it just disappears. Nobody's talks about it anymore.
The Georgia Guidestones to me is like Lahaina. I
I
mean,
was just about to say.
it's almost like it was a direct energy weapon, and they had the construction to demolish it before the direct energy weapon was even hit the Georgia Guidestones. It might be different than Lahaina, Scuba Go.
You make a very valid point. I mean, if they're going to do something like with a directed energy weapon, that takes time. This is not just flipping a switch and then pressing a button and then the laser goes. Like, no. The satellite has to get into position. It has to wait. It probably has to utilize a lot of energy, or we could be completely and utterly stupid and they could have used the one that's at the South Pole. We do not know. But what we do know is that there are some very, very weird inconsistencies. If you sit there and look at the now updated Google Maps satellite footage, or satellite photos, if you look at the various footages across all of the different social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, And there's some just very weird activity going on with the billionaires in that area. Why is Oprah Winfrey opening up a charity asking for $100 million of donations from other people and at guaranteeing that she will donate after other people will donate first? Like that it just drives me up a fucking wall. And I can't lie to you guys. I've been, I used to be all in this, plugged in, looking at all this. But ever since Biden came into office, I've just turned off because at this point, the movie's not fun anymore. It's not.
We're at that point where, like, you see the acts coming, and like old, like 70s, 80s, like Halloween movies and everything. And like, "Meow, meow, meow," and then, you get away. But it's the most turmoil point, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, the whole point of, like, I love the meme that Oprah and The Rock was there, Dwayne Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and because Oprah is black, and he's called The Rock, it was called Black Rock. In Black Rock, Hawaii, Black Rock, Burning Man. I mean, they are stupid.
No, they're not stupid. They're just giving every single avenue to seed the public so fucking hard. Like it's.
But they try to blend all the words into different areas of
But look at
different
17.
fear codes, and everything.
Andrew,
It's
you.
just,
I don't mean to cut you off, but the perfect example is look at how many times Donald Trump has spoken 17 out of random. Just in random context. 17,000. Oh, 17 times. It is ridiculous how many times that man has referenced 17.
well, did you see on New Templars chat? I've been trying to post as many stuff. I got bombarded by an asshole a couple days ago in Evolution. But, the Gospel of Q. I mean, I heard about this a couple years ago where Q, the 17, has been going on for thousands of years. It's just this damn number. And it keeps on repeating. It's very weird. But I haven't read the Gospel of Q. Well, no, I'm actually thinking about the Tesla Build Your Own Free Energy. It's in a different language, but all these books are in different languages. And like Tartaria, old language. And they're not letting us access it. I don't know where I'm going to go with that, but I'm just, ooh, God.
Because why would they let you access something that... The thing is why would they let you access something that would give you keys into understanding where you come from?
Yeah, old maps are coming up again, like people are talking about flat Earth, and I'm like, there's more.
Okay.
It all comes back to this every single year. I'm like, there's more important things to think about.
Like flat sun.
Yeah, like I don't care about that. I care about the defeating the evil. It just gets annoying.
Yeah, I mean, we are watching a very, very well crafted, well strung out fucking movie, and I don't know any other way to describe it. But we've talked about.
Girl put out the. Go ahead. A girl put out the other day. She said that like they're pulling out all the strings, like they don't know what to do because they're just shoving out all their plans, and it doesn't go anywhere besides their goal, and ours are spread out like roots. Like they're not gonna win, but we just have to deal with this. It's horrible, and they always pull this shit right around these holidays. Ugh. We just have to be very calm, and I know people said 9/11 was Jesus' birthday. Yeah, Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that one's not. No, that's squirrel brain. Um, but we've talked about current events a lot tonight. We've kind of gone into NASA a bit. We talked about, of course, Biden. We talked about Mexico. Oh boy, we've talked about a lot this evening. Kind of just went off the rails and went everywhere. And I do enjoy these conversations. Um, but bringing it back to normal tradition, what's been going on in the sun? So, I mean, do you want to go into your rant about Dark Brandon junk? I mean, the videos. That was very beautiful and well spoken there, Junk. You know, you make a very good point that, you know, a lot of the world is watching and they are paying attention more than we'd like to think. And that can't be understated. They are watching what we're doing. They are watching what Biden is doing. And they are reflecting on what their own country is doing and not wanting to see things go as bad as they are here for them, because at the end of the day they know what that means, because they've been through it. Their families have been through it. They have generational memories to think about and to worry about when it comes to that type of stuff. So you make a very, very good point, Junk. So moving on, good old tradition near the end of the night, we look at our beautiful light ball in the sky. So a couple days ago, we had a nice solar flare. It was not directed at Earth. Always remember, if this graph goes down, it was completely and utterly facing the opposite direction. But there were flares, and it's been pretty consistent with flares. We are in the maximum period, so we're going to get a lot of flares. But at the end of the day, they aren't aimed at us right now. We haven't had a we've had small ones, but we haven't had anything to really be scared of, and that's always a good thing. However, we always must be vigilant, smart, and pay attention to, our life bringer. I mean, at the end of the day, nothing can live without light. So, it's very fascinating that we, sit here and spin on. I know what Junk wants to say. I know what he wants to say. So get it out of your system, damn it. That's why it's spinning. So you can consistently see all sides. No, it's a very good point. And I also want to make note that why is it that we have every other country still trying to land on the moon, but we have Mexico digging up their own stuff on Earth? Why aren't more people doing that? You think the Mexican stuff is faked? Hey, it's a personal opinion. Right. I mean, it is very strange. It's not like it's anything. They're not new. It's new to the normies who haven't been paying attention. So hey, it's your personal opinion, and it's a very valid one because there aren't any features to really distinguish it other than being completely and utterly petrified and mummified. Hey, nothing wrong with that. So as we see here, we have some large anomalies all over the place. Now, this could be just, you know, solar rays or solar winds, and it's just picking up the trails of light from the winds. But some of us very much theorize that these are cylinder craft in motion, all kind of either in sublight speed or some type of hyperspace speed, and we're able to catch it by one frame. and just see them all like this. Junk, would you like to explain? Yep. Planets. Yeah, it did like a corkscrew maneuver around. Slingshot, yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, you never know. No. That's that's a very valid point. And we have this guy here. Now this one is very interesting because this doesn't have a defined shape. This I would attribute to something like a light ship or pure energy. Like this is just it's specifically in heat. So and this was on 9/11 at 2 in the afternoon.
Thank you, Scuba, with the heat and everything. Look how bright white the object is compared to like
Around it.
I mean, it is. I mean, I keep seeing this right now, but man, that looks brighter than some of like the white.
It's not, no. So what you're seeing, that little bright ring there in the center of the sun, or in the center of like the black.
No, not the perfect circle.
No, I know, but I'm trying to explain that light circle inside the perfect circle is the sun. What's around it is a blinder or a lens, so the sensor doesn't get burnt out from staring at the sun too long.
Okay, I was just talking about the horizontal like skirts out of the circle,
Yeah, those would be solar rays.
and it's not the same as the same light that's coming from that object.
No, it would just be like it's detecting a heat source, whereas the sun is like producing just straight light and a version of heat, but the rays wouldn't be as hot because it's not as close as the sun. It's not. Junk, could you want to explain it a little bit better? Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what you're talking about. The yeah, the the Great Awakening map. No, they cannot stop it. No. It's a branching effect, yep. Alrighty, we have one more thing to get to before we... I surely can. Oh, yes. Xenox sent me that. He sent me the Instagram version, so it wasn't as, how you say, huh? Yeah, it wasn't cropped. But this is, of course, this is a nice little funny joke for the rest of the evening. And for those that are watching the recording, look at that. Nice, lovely little Biden mummy for you. Oh, funny. Alrighty. Junk, take it away. course, bud. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Wednesday, 9/13 of 23. We will be back next week, as always. If not, you will definitely be notified. But have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week. And as always, keep on seeking. Good night, everybody.